All right, let's dive straight into this explainer, the neurobiology of respiration, the glitch in the system. Today, we're going to unpack the hidden, incredibly complex neurobiology behind a totally mundane function that you are performing right this very second. We're looking at a system in your body that is so perfectly engineered, so ridiculously seamless that you spend almost your entire life completely ignoring it. But as we'll see, beneath that quiet, reliable surface lies one of the strangest and most fascinating design choices in your entire biological makeup.
20,000? Yeah, that is roughly how many times you've taken a breath today. And, well, until I just said that exact sentence, you probably didn't think about a single one of them. That's absolutely not an accident, but it is a massive anomaly. Just think about your other vital systems for a second. Your heart, your digestion, your blood pressure, they all just run completely without your permission. I mean, you can't just decide to pause your digestion because you're busy, right? They're locked safely away from your conscious tampering, running on this strict internal loop. But breathing? Breathing is fundamentally different.
So, unlike your heart or your digestion, which do their thing whether you like it or not, breathing is the only survival function you can just override at will. It's also the only one your brain will immediately hijack back the moment you stop paying attention to it, which really forces us to ask this core question: why? Why on earth does your body need a function that's completely automatic, yet entirely optional at the exact same time? To figure that out, we have to look deep inside the physical architecture of the brain. The answer actually starts deep in a region of your brainstem called the pre-Bötzinger complex. You can think of it kind of like a glowing internal metronome. This tiny, hyper-specialized cluster of neurons has been firing steadily, sending these rhythmic signals to contract your diaphragm muscles over and over again, just to keep you alive. And get this, it's been doing this since before you were even born. It keeps that crucial beat while you sleep, while you're deeply distracted by work, even while you are completely unconscious. It really is the ultimate biological autopilot. But because of how this is set up, you also have this built-in manual override button. You can choose to interrupt this rhythm literally whenever you want. You could choose to hold your breath right now. You can control the pace, intentionally speeding it up to a pant or slowing it way down to a long, deep sigh. You are able to completely override that steady, ancient brainstem rhythm. Just think about how wild that is for a second. Try doing that with your heartbeat. You simply cannot. Breathing is the only basic survival system that comes with this kind of manual control switch. And this brilliantly illustrates why evolution built it this way. Breathing basically has to serve these two totally competing roles. It absolutely has to keep you alive 24 hours a day without you spending an ounce of mental energy on it. But it also has to adjust instantly for conscious, everyday tasks. If you couldn't take over your breathing, human communication as we know it wouldn't even exist. You couldn't talk to your friends, you couldn't sing a song, you couldn't hold your breath to swim underwater, you couldn't even blow out the candles on a birthday cake. Every single one of those actions requires strict, conscious, momentary control over your breath. To make all of this happen, evolution essentially built a split screen into your biology. You actually have two completely separate neural systems that both connect to the exact same set of diaphragm muscles. On one side, you have that automatic system running tirelessly from the brainstem. On the other side, you have a voluntary system running from your motor cortex. Now, that's the exact same region of the brain that controls deliberate movements, like raising your hand or taking a step. When you decide to speak, your motor cortex basically sends a specialized signal that temporarily mutes the brainstem's automatic rhythm, completely seizing the reins of your diaphragm. Normally, these two systems are just fantastic teammates. They hand off control to each other smoothly and seamlessly thousands of times a day without you ever even noticing the switch. You finish talking, your motor cortex steps back, and your brainstem immediately takes the wheel again. Easy. But as with any incredibly complex piece of machinery, sometimes this delicate neural handoff breaks down. And when that happens, the results aren't just fascinating, they are genuinely unsettling. Take a rare condition known as Ondine's curse, or congenital central hypoventilation syndrome. People born with this syndrome have an automatic breathing system that simply doesn't work properly. Now, while they're awake, they're perfectly fine because their conscious mind, that motor cortex we talked about, takes over and manually controls every single breath. But the very moment they fall asleep and their conscious control switches off, their automatic system fails to pick up the rhythm. Without machine support, their breathing slows dangerously or just stops completely. It's a really haunting glimpse into the vital protective guard duty your brainstem performs every single night. It just highlights how much trust we put into this tiny cluster of cells every time we close our eyes, all so our conscious mind can safely power down.
Okay, on a much lighter but probably way more relatable note, Have you ever suddenly become hyper-aware of your own breathing? It immediately felt like you were somehow doing it wrong. Suddenly you don't know where to put your hands, you aren't sure how deep of a breath to take. It feels incredibly awkward, right? Well, that strange, glitchy feeling happens because you just force your voluntary system to step in and collide with a perfect, elegant rhythm that your automatic system was already handling beautifully without you. You essentially just tripped over your own biological wires.
What's really interesting is how this exact same mechanism completely reframes something deeply distressing, the panic attack. See, during moments of intense anxiety, your voluntary system can completely override the calm, steady rhythm your brainstem was maintaining. Your motor cortex, reacting to a perceived threat, pushes your breathing to become faster and shallower. Meanwhile, your automatic system realizes something is wrong and desperately tries to correct it back to a normal, steady pace. But your voluntary system fights back, often without you even realizing you're doing it. It's a literal biological turf war happening right in your chest. The friction between these two systems creates that terrifying, spiraling, out-of-control feeling that so many people experience during a panic attack.
But here is the really incredible part. This exact same dual system design is also your greatest built-in defense mechanism. It explains exactly why breathing exercises work so unbelievably well to calm anxiety. When a friend or a therapist tells you to just take a deep breath during a stressful moment, they aren't just offering you a psychological distraction or some kind of placebo. You're actually utilizing your own biology. By consciously slowing your breath with your voluntary motor cortex, you're literally hitting a biological reset button. You are actively tricking your automatic nervous system into believing the danger has completely passed. Because slow, deep, rhythmic breathing is a signal your body intrinsically associates with total safety, your motor cortex is effectively sending a message straight down the chain of command. Your brainstem takes the hint, stops sounding the alarm, and allows your entire physiology to just calm down and recalibrate. So, the big takeaway here, forgetting how to breathe, in the sense that you almost never have to actually think about it, isn't a design flaw at all. It is brilliant proof of your body's built-in redundancy. It's perfectly engineered to let your conscious mind focus on experiencing life, learning things, speaking, and singing, all while your brainstem quietly, fiercely, and reliably stands guard in the background to keep you alive. Right now, as you're listening to this, without you doing anything at all, that steady metronome in your brainstem is still running quietly in the background. It never stopped, and it never will until the day you no longer need it to. Knowing what a delicate, intricate handoff is happening inside your nervous system every single second of every single day, well, will you ever be able to ignore your next breath in the exact same way again?